Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to share a rules overview and review of So Clover. It's ages 10 and up, 3 to 6 players, and it takes 20 to 30 minutes depending on how many people you're playing with. Let me show you how to play. Game setup. Each player takes their own Clover board, takes 4 of the cards from the deck, and without looking at them or thinking about it too much, they just place them out on their Clover board, and then they need to write one word that links the 2 words on the outside by that side together as a clue for the other players. The same general rules where you can't just use a different variation of the name, you can't use a different language, and it very much has to be just one word is what you have to do. And here is an example of one that is already done. When you reach this point, you have to have written all of your words on here secretly so nobody else could see it as you do it. You take your cards off your completed board and you take another card from the deck randomly and then include it with these cards, shuffle them and place them face down. And then, one at a time, you're going to resolve all of the boards that people have filled out. Whoever filled out this board will get to be a spectator and just watch as everyone else gets to talk and work together to try to figure out how to place 4 of these 5 cards in the correct spots on the board. So they can say all sorts of things like, oh, a stunt might go with a target. And they can visualize whatever they need to do to kind of figure out like, oh, tennis clearly goes with sport. And so they try to figure out where to put these. They might say, oh, coffee goes with cook, but stone might not go with animal, and a cougar's an animal. So they can try all sorts of things. And when they get to a point where they say, okay, we think this is our best guess, they need to all decide as a group to do so. And then they get to ask the person who gave the clues if they're right. If they are right, and they got everything correct, you get basically 1 point per card plus an extra bonus, 2 bonus points for having found all the keywords on the first try. But here, they did not get everything correct. In fact, I think I put them all in here incorrectly for this one. So you would take them all out. They would take whatever ones were wrong. If one had been right, they would have gotten to leave it in. Otherwise, they take the rest out. And then they get to try one more time to finish it up to get them in the right spots. And if they do that, they get to finish up. And where's our other sport? Oh, we're saying stunt is a sport. And they say, okay, this is our second try. Do you think this is right? And they say, you're done. And then at that point, there are no more retries and you get 1 point per card in the correct spot. And you just do this for each player's board and tally up your points at the end. So that's how to play So Clover. The target demographic for this game is it is a social game for adults. It is cooperative, it is competitive, but it is ultimately very lighthearted. This is firmly in the social game category. The rule complexity is very, very easy, which is part of what makes this a social game. It's one of those games you just basically can put out on the table and say, let's go and play, and everybody's ready to go right away because it is just that easy and that fun to play. How competitive is this game? It is cooperative, so against each other, it is not at all competitive. However, against the game itself, it can be very challenging to do well and win at this game. You can sit there for a while trying to link these 2 just impossible words, and then when it's time to put the clues together, depending on how your group does making decisions, there can be a lot as you're trying to figure out, okay, could this go here or maybe here? And sometimes the extra card that gets thrown in, nobody saw that coming, so it really just kind of gums up the works, and it fits in a couple of spots with a clue, so it can make it to quite a process. So even though this is a social game, this is a great social game for people that want something that's really fun to learn how to play, lighthearted, but man, it still feels like you had to figure out something and accomplish something for a game because it is still very challenging. The replay value is high because it is so fun to play. You are so proud. It feels like putting a puzzle together when you've gotten it right, and when you, oh my gosh, when the whole group gets it together and they're like, oh, you got it on your first try, you are just so proud. So it's really fun, and you have a sense of accomplishment when you play. And because it is just so easy to get to the table, that makes it really easy to play on repeat, which is excellent. And finally, similar games, code names. You guess, you have a secret words that you're trying to have your teammate guess, and you're giving out clues, so it's very similar. It is competitive, but you can be on teams, so there's still some of the same elements of gameplay as this. And finally, Just One is by the same game company and is also very popular, but I would say is an easier entry point. That's where everybody just has to give one clue for one item that you're trying to get the person who can't see it, you're trying to get them to guess. So everyone is giving them one clue, and then they're trying to guess based on that, which is also a lot of fun, but just a little easier if you were looking for that. But So Clover has been a huge hit. It's been a big social game that people are really excited about this year, and we really enjoy it. So you should check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.